final. And maybe they did not match up with the Pittsburgh Penguins properly, but they still finished just really 2 games shy of winning the Cup that year in 2017.
With that said, Pete, this team went to the Stanley Cup Finals in 2017 and hasn't quite regained that kind of traction in the 4 or 5 years since. Has that window closed for this franchise?
Well, it closed with the Pekka Rinne version, to be sure. Now we have to see if UC Saros can reopen that basement window and keep it wide open to allow them to do this. And the next year, and I think is one of the greatest jinxes in the NHL. The year after going to the Cup final as an 8th seed in the West, they become the top seed in the whole league and win the President's Trophy and can't get to the second round of the playoffs. Mm-hmm. The President's Trophy was not a great thing, though it's a standard that set things up there, but it's almost been since that point in time that they have not been able to reach the heights, if you will.
I'm going to ask you this question. You don't have to answer it if you don't want to.
You want me to take the 5th?
You can if you'd like.
Or I'll just
based off of this season and UC Soros, and if he's able to duplicate what he did over the last season and parts of 2 seasons ago, does that success that he has, does that decide whether or not Philip Forsberg is re-signed or not?
It may. I don't know exactly. I talk with Philip probably a couple days a week. He still seems to be the happy young man I've always known him to be. As a matter of fact, he has to translate a lengthy Swedish newspaper article for me here in the next few days. So we're going to see what goes on with all of that. And guys, it's a hockey article, okay? It's not one of those other Swedish articles you might be thinking about right now. But it's about a player I was associated with years ago in Los Angeles. And but I think he wants to see how things begin to play out. And maybe part of the check boxes for him will be that Matthias Ekholm resigned and that all became official today. That might be a big help in that regard.
Pete, do you get a different UC Saros without Pekka Rinne looming?
Great question. And none of us can know until now to begin to see how that reality sets in. Obviously, Pekka was the man who took UC under his wing. Matter of fact, he lived with Pekka for a while in his first year here, and he taught him everything he could teach him about tending goal in the NHL, although tending goal not being quite as tall as Pekka, which brings you to some different sort of mechanics, if you will, in goal. But I think that the lessons were well taught, and honestly, I don't think Pekka leaves unless he thought that UC was capable. Otherwise, I think he stays around for another year.
That is some insight there, and we appreciate the insight that you always give, Pete. Again, thanks for teaching us hockey. Without you, we'd be useless.
You would not be useless, guys. You are very useful. And again,
dude, you just don't know.
I was so happy to be at Mo's induction into the Tennessee Sports Writers Hall of Fame a few weeks ago. That was outstanding, a well-earned honor for you. And I just hope that the picture at the top of your Twitter page can get expanded to include a hockey puck.
I'll see what I can do with that, Pete, just for you.
Thank you so much.
We'll work on that, man.
By we, he means he's going to ask me to Photoshop one in now, Pete. No. So that's
not necessarily that, but I will provide the puck if need be.
There we go. Well, I don't know that we have one laying around, so yeah, that might be a good thing.
Okay.
Appreciate it, Pete Weber, play-by-play voice
of 310. I'll give you the puck.
Sounds good.
There you go. Pete Weber, play-by-play voice of the Nashville Predators here on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. And, man, what a treat. Again, the Predators open their season tomorrow night against the Seattle Kraken. And don't forget, you will not hear names like Ryan Ellis Eric Koala, Victor Arvidsson, or Kaya Yonkrook anymore. So make sure, Mo, that you learn the roster a little bit. What happened to the other line?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know. All right. That's going to do it for this segment. And we are excited to talk a little NASCAR in the next segment. We'll get our regular NASCAR voice back. Terry the Chicken Man joins us on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. Other than that, Wild and Wacky Wednesday, college football, and Braves, Titans, and more, all coming at you. We'll be right back to the Lee Company studio after this. Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Fast Stop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Fast Stop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Fast Stop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
sports talk show you've always wanted. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. From preps to pros. Live from the Lee Company studio. With the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back into Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton, JP Plant with you here on this Hump Day edition of the show. Glad to have you with us as we get ready for a little NASCAR. Should be fun. We're going to talk a little NASCAR here in just a few minutes, because we do in fact have our friend, the Chicken Man, joining us today. Very excited to have Terry Wilcox on the line as we get ready for the Echo Park Automotive 5. Got a special song for you today, Terry. Here we go.
Well, they blew up the Chicken Man in Philly last night. They blew up his house, too.
That's no good, man. They blew him up and blew up his house, Mo.
Why?
They must have happened when I was gone.
What did the Chicken Man do to deserve that? That's what I want to know.
I don't know.
Atlantic City.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't go that far. Went to Pigeon Forge.
Same difference.
The Chicken Man went to Pigeon Forge.
That's right.
Sounds kind of foul to me.
Oh, come on.
Checking out the other way.
Yeah.
Setting the stage right there.
Well, you trying to keep up with him.
I guess I just laid an egg.
This is going to be a really bad segment. Just go ahead. Just, you know what? We're going to break.
Cut all the mics. Cut them all. Cut everybody's mic. Yeah.
Of all the people here, I'm the one who didn't get a pun in.
There you go.
This is
Keep up.
Wow.
You got to keep up, man.
Clearly. Terry, man, coming out of the Bank of America road course over at Charlotte, were you surprised, as I was, that number 5 was the winner?
No, not really. I mean, he's going to be the favorite. He's going to be the favorite probably every race going forward. He's on fire this year. It was kind of a little bit of a karma there, bit Kevin Harvick in the rear end. He tried to take out the crowd favorite, and boom, he took himself out. But if he hadn't taken himself out, he would have taken him out. He was out of his tail. But yeah, it was very exciting. We're going to see where it goes forward. I think that hopefully is over now that Harvick is out of the running for the championship. If it isn't, NASCAR has stated this week that they will keep an eye on it and they will step in if need be. So hopefully those two gentlemen have decided that they're racers instead of running on your local go-kart track. So we'll see what happens. But Texas is pretty much the fastest track on the circuit. So we'll see what happens this week. Chase Elliott will be up there. Denny Hamlin is turning. He's definitely a solid favorite now as well. So I think it's going to be between those two gentlemen, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I mean, this is it, to me, I think it has got to be one of the most impressive things we've ever seen, to see a guy who was suspended for a pretty large, significant part of the season is now the favorite whole thing.
Yeah, he's definitely turned into a fan favorite too. If you notice, he's getting the cheers just like Chase Elliott does. Of course, Kevin Harvick, they cheered him pretty loud when he wrecked too, didn't they? But that's another story. But the thing is, he's kept himself, he kept his nose clean. He did everything NASCAR told him he needed to do in order to come back, and he seems legitimate to me. I don't think it was ever intended as negative as it wound up coming out when he said it, but hopefully that is past us. We definitely don't need that kind of stuff in the sport. So, I like Chase Elliott I'm not Chase Elliott. I like Kevin.
Kyle Larson.
Kyle Larson. I'll get it right. He's like I said. He seems to be, at least from what we see, he seems to be legitimate, and he seems to be saying all the right things. So, but he's got to keep his nose clean. One more slip up, and I think he's pretty well gone. So, but anyway, good. He's a great racer. In fact, he races more than anyone. I think they said he's won like 85 races this year, counting all the dirt races he goes to. I know he raced again after the race this past weekend. He was in somewhere. He's just a racer. He likes to race. That's a lot of other drivers did the same thing years ago, but he just seems to be he's on fire right now, and he's taking advantage of his skill. So
one of the drivers who will be at least a little bit behind the 8 ball, starting third, Kyle Busch. If he's going to get a win at Texas, he's got to do it without his crew chief.
Yeah, that's very, very true. But Kyle can win any week. I mean, much as we may not like him and Hamlin, some guys are always a contender to win, because as we've seen it, a lot of times it just takes luck. I mean, look at Talladega. That's a prime example. 3 guys for all 3 series that had never ever won that won on that weekend. Anything can happen. You got to be in the right spot at the right time, and it'll happen. As long as you're not Jennifer Joe Cobb, you got a chance to win.
Oh, don't go there. Come on now. You're not wrong, but don't go there. Kyle Busch's crew chief suspended for a lug nut infraction, and this has been a problem all year long. Terry, it just feels like every single week we're talking about somebody who's getting DQ'd for lug nuts. What the crap is wrong? Because anybody who can't tighten their own lug nuts needs to... Okay, never mind. Wait a minute. I got to stop there because
it was multiple. It was multiple lug nuts. I can see how tightening lug nuts would be an issue. I'm just saying. I mean, Friday night on my way home from my ball game, my left rear tire popped off because my lug nuts were loose. Man,
completely come off the car.
I can see that happening with you.
Well, yeah.
I would say they're a little bit better equipped to handle something like that in the average NASCAR event than Chris was on 65 North.
You're right. But and again, that's how close the racing is. A split second like that makes a big difference. If you can beat a car out of the pit, some of these tracks, track position is. In most tracks, that's what determines who wins and loses. It's not necessarily how fast you are in the track. It's who can get out of the pits the fastest on that last pit stop. And that's all this what it's pertaining to. So at the end of the race, when they came in, they checked the lug nut every race, and his car had 2 or more lug nuts that were loose. So that gets your crew chief suspended for a race. So, but it's terrible, but we've seen it happen all year long. If you remember, it wasn't that long ago, a NASCAR official used to be in every pit box, and you could not leave on a pit stop without all 20 lug nuts being secure. I'm sure you remember that, Chris.
Oh yeah.
And they went away with that. Now we're getting this.
I was going to say, are they going to have to go back to that? I mean, is that the next step here?
I don't know. I think the next step, quite honestly, is to if you're caught with two or more, or even one at the end of the race, you finish last. That's the one way that'll stop it. They started. Remember last year, at the beginning of the year, they started taking the win away, which they did last year in a couple of chances, because NASCAR would never do that, and the issues that they were having causing them to take the win away went away. The teams will adjust. But NASCAR just has to say, this is it, guys. This is the bottom line. These are the rules. You violate them, you finish last. You get no points. You get no money. And then it stops, because the owner is going to say, we're not having that. So that's the only way you stop that blatant cheating like that.
Makes sense. Hey, real quick, this Saturday, O'Reilly Auto Parts 300 in the Xfinity Series.
Yeah,
that I assume, since it's at 2:00 on Saturday, I don't know that we'll have that one on the air.
We will not be able to, because we got Alabama comes on at 3:00 with their pregame. So yeah, unfortunately, this week and next week we will not be able to have either one, unfortunately. So I hate it, but that's the way it is.
But Sunday at 1:00, you can hear the Auto Trader Echo Park Automotive 500. Will you be on the air?
We'll be on the air at noon. I probably won't do a pre-race this week. I probably won't do one the rest of the year. This is the last one where we have to run it manually, as JP can tell you what that is. I know you know, but because it's PRN, that's the only reason. MRN, which has the rest of the races, they're all automated. So this is the only last one that someone's got to sit there and run the commercial spots for them.
So if anybody wants to hear what you have to say about the race, they have to listen to this show, huh?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
Unfortunately.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I wasn't talking about Mo. He's a Hall of Famer, so we don't talk about Mo. But anyway.
I'm looking forward to it. It is at noon pre-race on WKRM. Is it on the KOM as well?
It is on KOM.
Okay, WKOM.
Yes, that's the only channel we run it on is 101.7 WKOM. So
green flag drops a little after 1.
Yes, yeah. Their pre-race is an hour long, and then it's usually about anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes after the hour when they drop the green flag. And I'll tell you, that race is a fast race. Had some bad wrecks there because of the speeds. So make sure you tune in. The race, if there's no cautions, the race will go quick. So.
Gotcha. All right. Well, there you have it. That is your NASCAR preview here on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today with Terry the Chicken Man Wilcox. Terry, before you get out of here, we got to get one more time. Get silly with T. Willie. Come on.
All right. What did the 0 say to the 8?
You're a lot closer to 9 than I am. I don't know.
Nice belt.
Oh, that makes sense. See, I like logical jokes too. Those are good ones.
You got to think about
Terry, we appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed Pigeon Forge and hanging out with Dolly.
I sure did, and she sends her best to Mo. So
I'm sure.
Thank you, Terry. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Tell her I said hey.
Oh man, when we come back, we got Braves NLCS bound. So excited. We'll talk about the National League Division Series, our thoughts on Freddie Freeman and the Braves, and as well as the Dodgers Giants. I mean, we'll have to talk about that because who do we want to face? I don't know. We'll see. That's just,
we'll see.
I'll tell you who I want to face, but I'm curious as to what you think, Mo. So we'll get to all of that. Of course, we'll talk about a little bit NFL, college football, all of that in segment 5. Still want to get JP's surprises, disappointments, and Heisman candidates that we didn't get yesterday.
There we go.
So we'll talk to him about that. And then, of course, it's Wild and Wacky Wednesday here on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Day. So stick around. Whole entire hour coming up after this on WKOM WZYX. We'll be right back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Festop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Fast Stop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Fast Stop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
when the Braves play. Chris and Mo are talking about it,
Yeah, that's trash can juice.
Speak for yourself.
for better or worse, on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Back to the Lee Company studio. Yep, they're fans too. Here's Chris and Mo.
Welcome back in Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yamo, Pat, and JP Plant with you on this Wednesday edition. Welcome into hour number 2 of the show as we get ready to talk about the Atlan Braves. Oh, yeah. Better than Wild Thing, I guess.
That's the sound of darkness coming down the West Coast as the Atlanta Braves invade California.
Just not quite sure where they're going or when they're going there.
Yeah, that's the thing is if the San Francisco Giants win, the Braves will be playing in San Francisco for games 1 and 2 and 6 and 7,
If necessary. Mhm.
and then if the Dodgers were to win, the Braves would be the higher seed, even at 3, and would get to host 1, 2, and then 6 and 7 if necessary. So
Well, they're at 3 because the
They-
Dodgers are at 4. So,
right,
win your
no,
division.
I mean, it's just odd that the Braves haven't even have this opportunity, but I guess when it is what it is, we've seen it happen before. So
I like that. I think baseball lends itself more to that, more credence to the division winner than any other sport because of the amount of games you play.
I think under normal circumstances it does, and you can't change the rules in midstream, but it's tough when you have won 106 games out of 162
Yeah.
and you don't have the home field advantage against a team that has won 88 games out of 161. I mean, I can see where the Dodgers would be irritated under that scenario.
Sure.
But when you're
well, I
division,
mean, think about 91 when the Giants won 100 plus and didn't even go to the playoffs.
93.
93.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah. It's tough. And I'm sure that there was somebody that limped in with 80 something or 90 something wins that year. I mean, it's a tough deal. It's really unfortunate when the 2 best teams in the league are in the same division. Could be worse. There could have been no wild card and the Dodgers could have been sitting at home.
that's right.
So
Very well could have been worse. So here it is.
But
Be
again,
happy you're here.
Yeah. I mean, I get that they are a little miffed over the situation, and their potential irritation makes perfectly good sense. But
I ain't mad at them for being mad. I'd be mad too.
oh yeah,
I mean, I'd be angry.
Oh, shoe on the other foot. Oh, good God. Yeah. I mean,
Are you kidding me?
yeah. So
What do you mean I got to play the Giants right off the bat?
yeah.
No, thank you. That being said, who would you rather face, Mo?
That's a good question because, I mean, both these teams are scary good. I mean, again, San Francisco won 107 games. And
Yeah, but we split the season
yeah,
series.
I get what you're saying. I'm just saying over the long haul, they won 107 games. And I've always said that in a 162 game season, virtually, with rare exception, everybody's going to win 54 games. Everybody's going to lose 54 games. And it's what you do with that other 54 that really kind of makes the difference. Well, the Giants won 53 of those other 54 games.
They went 53 and 1 in those 54.
In those other
so that's
54
pretty good.
games, that's pretty dang good. The Dodgers are the defending World Series champions, and they've got a lineup that you'd like to say 1 through 8 can really do damage, but they even go deeper than that. So I don't think there's an easy way in either case. Both these teams are really good, and I'm not sure that the home field advantage that would come with playing the Dodgers is necessarily worth playing the Dodgers. I don't know. I don't remember how the series went. I think we played pretty well against both these teams during the regular season.
The Braves did play well against both teams. Again, they split the season series with the Giants. I believe they went 2-4 against the Dodgers. You know, this is still a really deep lineup for the Braves, even with where they sit currently with Jorge Soler potentially.
We saw how deep it was last night. Because
right. I mean,
Brian Snitker played literally everybody at his disposal from a position standpoint, for sure. I was a little surprised we never saw Max Fried pinch hit.
Well, you should save him in case you needed him in Game 5. Couldn't afford him to get hurt running to first base or something.
Oh, wouldn't that be? That would be so Barvish.
It would be 100% hashtag Barbs, and probably would have happened. So therefore, we didn't need it. Then that's what counts. I personally would go with I would rather face the Giants just because I think we match up better with their pitching. Obviously, I think Scherzer is a guy that we've seen enough. I feel comfortable in maybe in a situation where he's throwing, but Urias, I don't want to see. I don't want to see that guy.
Yeah,
at all. I'm going to see him twice.
Yeah, and that's
more
the
than
thing.
Likely.
For all of the arms that they have, that guy, and not Bueller. Not Scherzer, certainly not Kershaw where he healthy, but Urias. No, get him out of here. Yeah,
he's the one that makes me the most, worried. And then you try to throw. You've got Walker Bueller. I mean, in a 7-game series, you're going to see your top 3 pitchers twice, most likely. And
here's what's crazy. All the pitchers that we just mentioned for the Dodgers, and we never mentioned David Price.
Because he's a non-factor, or has been in the postseason the last couple of years, unfortunately. I mean, that's just...
I don't think anybody's running up to the plate to hit him.
Well, you don't want to see him, especially in a situation where you would see him in maybe even a bullpen game or something like that. That's not the guy you want to see coming to the plate or coming to the mound, because I mean, just the fact of what he's been able to do
over the course of
his career.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that's not the guy I want to see. Now, if I'm the Braves and Kevin Gossman, Alex Wood, stop me if you've heard these names before.
Well, you've heard them, but you've typically heard, in Gossman's case in particular, you've heard some type of an expletive either before or after his name when he was pitching in Atlanta. So,
and then you've got Logan Webb.
Who?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even say Anthony Sclafani's name.
I think that's it.
Sclafani. I can't. I mean, and then Kazmir's on the
Gwen Stefani.
Basically, yeah. Next time we point at JP to say it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Pete.
I mean,
Stefani.
This is not a rotation that I go, we can't beat these guys.
No, it's not. But
so that's why I'm praying for the San Francisco Giants to close this out in Game 5.
In 15 or 16 innings.
Yeah, I mean, preferably. Just, exhaust all of your resources.
Just play all night, please. Yeah.
And there's no way this Atlanta Braves team that we saw on August 1st should be in this situation. We talked about it on this show so much, but I when I texted you the night we went over 500, I said, if they ever get over 500, it's going to be all downhill from there.
Or as Ron Washington kept saying, I'm not sure we can say it, but all they're going to see is butts and elbows.
And that's exactly what happened. I mean, this Braves team took full advantage of a weak part of their schedule, and they turned that into beating the Giants at home. You know, I mean, you took 3 of 4 from the Giants at home? It was either 2 of 3 or 3
I think it was
4.
2
I
of
can't
3.
remember. It may well could have been. But a team that took all that momentum, channeled it into winning a division with guys like Jorge Soler and what was the guy that played Abraham Almonte and Jock Peterson, just guys that had no business being on the baseball field of a division leader, and yet here they are, National League Division champions.
4 wins away from a National League pennant. And, you know, like you said, an Abraham Almonte or an Orlando Arcia, some of the guys that have contributed to this team's success over the course of this year are just it's a who's who of who's. Yeah. It really is.
I'm sorry, who's on first?
I mean, we saw
it was a real life Abbott and Costello.
Literally right before Abraham Almonte went up, we saw him at First Horizon Park playing for the Stripers, 1P, out of Gwinnett, you know. So they've gotten a lot of contributions from a lot of unlikely places to get to this point.
Charlie Morton goes last night, twice, left him in one batter too long. Kranitz went out there, and it was just one batter too long.
Yeah, one pitch too long.
Yeah, and that's okay. I mean, the Milwaukee Brewers were bound to have some offense at some point. They were bound to score some runs.
Well,
okay?
I mean, if we could have somehow avoided Rowdy Tellez, they'd have had a lot less.
They would have had 4 fewer runs without Rowdy Tellez on the lineup. Yeah. a pair of two-run homers in the series for Tellez, and the one he hit yesterday was an absolute monster.
If it hadn't run into something, it might still be going.
He hit it over the second pool, JP.
Yeah, I had it on while I was doing some work, and the broadcast, you guys may not have been able to listen to the television broadcast, but they played Bob Uecker's call. It was actually his middle innings, and it was awesome to hear Bob Uecker call that home run.
Oh, man.
It was fantastic.
Get up, get out of here. Yeah. He does a good job.
That being said, Joe Simpson and Ben Ingram did a fantastic job last night, and I am elated that the Atlanta Braves are making the National League Championship Series as we predicted, Mo, sitting at the pizza place. We said it was coming. But if you'd have told me on July 24th, when we didn't have Soroka, Acuna, Ozuna, and just about everybody else, it felt
anybody whose name ended with A. Yeah, we didn't have
Enoa, none of those guys.
Another one.
See, another one with
A. Yeah. If your name ended with A playing for Atlanta, you were in trouble.
Shall we call it the A team? I don't know.
Maybe not.
They would have been. Oh man. So yeah, Atlanta Braves. It's National League Championship Series bound. We will talk more about it over the course of this show, I promise you. But when we come back, it's Titans, college football, whatever else comes your way. So stick around. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Day returns after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Fast Stop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Fast Stop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Fast Stop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Care about. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today.
Yeah, that's trash can juice.
Speak for yourself.
Once again, live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back in Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Time to talk a little college and pro football. Maybe some journalism questions. Plenty to get to. First, though, Mo, I want to start with JP's surprises, disappointments, and Heisman candidates We got ours yesterday, and we kind of went through just about all of the entire list. But I'm curious what JP's biggest pleasant surprise or positive surprise.
Positive surprise.
Meaning you can't pick Clemson stinking as a
Maybe that is a
surprise.
pleasant surprise for
No.
JP.
Well,
I'm not
not what I meant.
I'm not a negative Nancy like some people. No,
gosh,
Wow.
throwing shots.
Wow.
I tell you, Ole Miss and just the style of play, that's a fun team. And I would throw Arkansas right in the mix with that as well. Those two, and maybe because of the game that we just had with those two, but those are pleasant surprises. I guess you have to throw Wake Forest. I'm not sold that they're going to do anything great. Iowa's
If
a
they
great.
win 8 games, I'll
Yeah.
be surprised.
Iowa's a great
And
story.
they've won 6.
If they win 8 games, they'll be surprised.
Iowa's a great story. I don't think they're going to get in the playoffs because I don't think they're going to win the Big Ten. But still a great story, and what a fantastic scene that was at Kinnick Stadium last week.
Let's stop just a second.
Sure.
You don't think Iowa's going to win the Big Ten?
I do not.
Okay. And Chris and I got into this a little bit yesterday.
Yeah, bring it on.
Is there any chance of the Big Ten getting 2 teams?
No.
Because
Because Iowa is going to go 12-1 and go to the Rose Bowl, and Ohio State's going to go to the playoff.
so Ohio State's going to win the Big
Ohio
Ten
State
championship.
will win the Big Ten championship. They will beat Michigan in their rivalry game, and hopefully for fans, Michigan will be undefeated at that point, and that'll make for a fun atmosphere as it always does. Ohio State will beat them, go to the Big Ten championship game, beat another undefeated in Iowa if Nebraska doesn't beat Iowa first. See, I could see.
We think Nebraska and
I-
Iowa is the trap game to watch
Yeah.
too.
So either Iowa at 12-1 or 11-1. I think they're going to the Rose Bowl. Because if they lose to Nebraska, do they still go? I guess they'd still win the West,
They'd
wouldn't they?
still be in.
Yeah.
They'd still
Okay,
in that
so
division.
even at 2 losses, I think they still go. Maybe I don't know, but
But you feel like Ohio State wins the Big Ten
I think
championship
Ohio
game.
State wins the Big Ten championship. Yep.
And you don't think there's any way they get 2 teams in because Oklahoma's now going to go undefeated,
If Oklahoma goes undefeated, they're in.
and they should.
Yeah.
I mean, their toughest game is the
Oklahoma
Big 12
State,
championship
Bedlam.
and Baylor.
Bedlam's not going to be easy.
Okay, so if Oklahoma goes undefeated, they're in. Ohio State's going to win the Big Ten championship.
There's
they're
2.
in. Cincinnati's going to go undefeated. They're in.
Maybe.
Who's going to beat Cincinnati?
Maybe. That doesn't.
He doesn't think they'll get in.
It's no guarantee. I'm not sold on that yet.
You're not sold on Cincinnati getting in.
I'm not sold- I'm
You're
not
not
sold it's a
sold on an
guarantee.
undefeated Cincinnati getting in.
Not as a guarantee. At all cost, I'm not sold on that alone.
What keeps them out? 2 SEC teams?
I think
perhaps-
if you had Alabama, Georgia going in undefeated, both undefeated, then maybe.
Well, they're
But
not.
I think at this
I,
point,
I think if you go in Georgia undefeated, Alabama with their 1 loss, Alabama beats Georgia. I think they're both going
Over Cincinnati.
over Cincinnati.
So it's Alabama, Georgia,
Ohio State,
Oklahoma.
I think
Same as
Cincinnati
it
would
ever
get in over
was.
Same as it ever was.
I think Cincinnati would get in over Oklahoma.
Undefeated Oklahoma.
They'd have a better win.
Yeah, I think you have an excellent argument.
Whether it's a successful argument or not.
It's a good one.
I don't see the committee selecting Cincinnati over Oklahoma when they are both undefeated. Don't see it happen.
I don't.
Then if that's the case, then a group of 5 team never gets in.
Yeah, you would.
That's right. This is the
This
last.
is the
this
year.
Is their last shot.
This is the year because of when we talked about this. I think Monday, maybe perhaps that this is the best chance because Cincinnati, the invitation to the Big 12 kind of legitimizes if they're ever going to
And
take
the
a
win
flyer.
at Notre Dame.
All of that combined,
Right.
This is the year. However,
However,
if you're putting the top 14 or who you think as the committee, I'm assuming it's still who they think the best 4 teams are. I still think Georgia's better. I still think Alabama's better right now, despite that one loss. I think Ohio State's better.
Man,
And-
I would absolutely kill for Ohio State Cincinnati in the semifinal. And you know who else would?
That would be
Cincinnati.
fun. Yeah, that would be fun.
Oh, absolutely, they would.
That would be fun. That would be
Please
fun.
let us play
I don't know that
Ohio
it would
State.
be though, because
They
what would that would take Ohio
it
State
depends.
being the 2 and Cincinnati being the 3, basically.
Yeah, and that could
But
happen.
I don't think I think
Cincinnati's 3 right now, and at least in the
then-
poll. I don't know where they're going to be in the playoff.
well, there's no way that you put Alabama, Georgia playing in a semifinal after they just played each other, right?
Right.
So there's no way that happens.
Which
Although it'd
means
be
that
great.
the only way that happens then is if you've got
Is
the
if they
winner,
win-
the winner of the SEC championship game playing Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, just a thought. Your Heisman. Let's go disappointments. Biggest
Yeah.
disappointment.
Disappointments.
The ACC.
Yeah,
That was ours.
Yeah, as a whole conference, North Carolina, Miami. I could give a little. You look at the teams that have beaten Miami and the records. They played some pretty good teams. Disappointments there. Hard to say the Pac-12 is a disappointment because of how they play.
They were who we thought they were.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there aren't a whole lot. Yeah.
Iowa
one of the-
State was a disappointment. to me.
yeah, that's a good point. Iowa State, there was a lot of run with them. Hell, they were top 10. One surprise or positive note, I think you got to throw Kentucky in there.
Yep.
Especially need to get that out before this coming Saturday because I can't believe that spread.
It could all come crashing down. What is
Yeah,
it?
it's like 24, 23, somewhere in that range.
Well,
I
I mean,
It's a lot of
you,
points.
you saw what they just did to Arkansas with a 17.5-point spread.
yeah,
That we all thought was there's no way. So all they did was double it and then some.
yeah. So now I'm not saying that I won't pick Georgia to cover that, but it's interesting. Kentucky, where are they? 11 now. Clearly the second best team in the East for now. Rocky Top may have something to say about it before it's all said and done. But and you could almost throw Tennessee as a little surprise.
I've been awfully surprised since Hendon Hooker became the quarterback. That's all I'm going to say.
So
Don't you have to wonder, though, how they didn't see it?
makes you question the coaches a little bit.
If you're supposed to be a quarterback guy, as Josh Heupel is supposed to be, how do you mismanage that situation the way they did? And I think you have to say that they did, because Joe Milton wasn't having this kind of success, and it doesn't look like he was going to.
Yeah, there's so much pressure to play the quarterback, certain quarterbacks, obviously more than any other position, and coaches obviously get that wrong more than any other position. But it's a spotlight position, and
And I don't know if they necessarily get it wrong more than any other position, or if it's just such a spotlighted position that it looks.
But there appears to be more politics in that position than any other position, and that's hello, Mr. Obvious. But I think because of that, because they think they have to play certain people. Who knows the pressure they're receiving from boosters, from administration. Who knows? And so it's easy to hindsight into Monday morning quarterback, that quarterback position. But that's a tough one, and I think they hang on to certain people more times than they. Where at other positions are like, okay, on to the next. But
what if
different.
Joe Milton doesn't get hurt?
Then Tennessee's probably 1-4 right now, and we're going, geez, not another year.
Well, at some point, if the bad play, look at Spencer Rattler. At some point, I tell you, and how good of a coaching job Lincoln Riley has done with that.
But that's the thing. I think when you've done it as long as Lincoln Riley has at Oklahoma, I think you've kind of built up a little bit of cachet that you can pull a Heisman Trophy favorite.
Yeah.
Whereas Josh Heupel has been there for however many games UT has played this year.
Yeah.
You know, it's
we
an intriguing
also didn't
situation.
Tennessee didn't have a Heisman Trophy favorite.
And no,
either at any point.
At no point, still doesn't.
But Lincoln Riley did, and he pulled him on Saturday, and it turned out to work very well in his favor as Caleb Williams became the starting quarterback. Although Lincoln Riley wouldn't tell you that until an Oklahoma school paper journalist gets some binoculars out, watches practice from a public building.
Wow.
Sees Williams taking the first team snaps and then reports it, goes to Spencer Rattler's dad and says, "Hey, how's he taking this?" And dad says,
Not well.
he's with Oklahoma. He's taking it in stride. He's doing, he's an Oklahoma Sooner and this, that, and the other, whatever. But Caleb Williams is a starting quarterback. And how do we know that? Because Lincoln Riley has canceled all media availability for the week after this report came out. Well done to Oklahoma University school paper journalists.
Yep.
Not so well done to Lincoln Riley and the Sooners.
Well, I mean, it is what at least he's doing what's best for his team on the field. Clearly, off the field, not
Is
doing
he?
so well at all.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah, I get you. My fault.
I said on the field.
I wasn't quite following you for a second there. Yeah.
Clearly, he's giving the right quarterback the snaps.
It's to not have him go in front of the media. I mean, in the world of NIL now, that's a different question, but protecting him from having to answer and the pressure of those things in this situation, allowing him to focus just on football.
Oh, come on.
This thing is not a bad idea.
Come. How hard is it?
I'm not saying it's difficult. I'm just, I'm looking at after he's done this, the positive to that is what I'm getting at. There are some positives to that is all I'm saying.
People ask questions, you answer questions. It's not rocket science.
Oh, I know.
It's not.
Or surgery.
Or rocket surgery or brain surgery. Yeah, it's none of that. It's answering questions.
But let me ask you this. Mo. How much of an impact does answering questions from the media have on name, image, likeness?
I think when people are, seeing your face in those, video clips or reading your words online or whatever else, I mean, it's just that exposure, I think, maybe. I mean, I think the starting quarterback, by virtue of the position he holds, is probably going to have a chance to benefit from NIL a lot more than the second string left guard, just because people are talking about you and hearing about you more.
The unfortunate truth is, Mo, that if he's got 500,000 Instagram followers, it doesn't matter.
The second string left guard isn't going to have 500,000 Instagram followers. But yeah, I get your point.
No, my point is this, that if he's the starting quarterback and he's got 2,500 Instagram followers, they still don't care whether he's a starting quarterback or not.
So it's not about the media at all, you don't think?
It's not about what you do on the field, Mo. It's about how many people can you influence on social media. That is the bottom line.
But where does the ability to influence people come from?
There's a large part of that, yeah. I mean, they some of that does go hand in hand.
Let me tell you, there are
but not as much as it used to be.
There are plenty of volleyball players with 3 million followers on Instagram that have never seen the front page of whatever local newspaper they've got. That's my point. So, it's Wild and Wacky Wednesday. We come back with wild and wacky news from across the world on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Stick around. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Fast Stop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Fast Stop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Fast Stop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
It's Wild and Wacky Wednesday on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today with the two zaniest guys this side of the Duck River. It's like you joined a circus or something. Here's Chris and Mo.
So as I'm driving over here Sunday over to Columbia and I was getting ready to move into my new house.
Your new home.
My new home. I need to hire some guys from the Red House to help me push some furniture into it. But no, seriously. So when you turn, Mo, you know, when you turn on Tom J. Hitch, you cross the Duck River. So when I got to the middle of the bridge, I thought, well, now I'm the zaniest guy in the middle of the Duck River.
Which side of the river?
He was on the bridge.
Was in the middle of it at that point.
That's not a place you want to be zany, on the bridge.
That's true.
That's true.
Being zany in the Duck River may not be a great idea.
I mean, it depends on if Sarah's phone is sitting in the Duck River somewhere when it flipped over off the kayak.
That wasn't very
still-
funny at the time either, was it?
Especially the 4 hours we spent at AT&T the next day. None of that was
Yee.
funny. Not a single minute of that was funny. Oh man. So Mo, I noticed here that we have an AP news story under Wild and Wacky that I did not place there. So I'm going to ask you.
Well,
did you place that there?
I did place it there, and it's not very wacky at all, but it's pretty wild.
We'll go with Wild.
Yeah,
1 out of 2 ain't bad.
yeah. Earlier this evening, actually.
Okay, Meatloaf.
Yeah. From Copenhagen, Denmark. A man armed with a bow and arrows killed 5 people Wednesday near the Norwegian capital of Oslo before he was arrested. Police chief in the town of Kongsberg said there was a confrontation between officers and the assailant, but did not elaborate. So yeah, bow and arrow attacks.
That's
Suspect walked around the city shooting at people with arrows.
just walking around like he was Robin Hood or something.
Yeah, I don't know if he was robbing from the rich and giving to the poor or what, but yeah.
Robbing from the government.
Oh,
Robin Hood did not rob from the rich. He took from the government. Let's be accurate.
Okay, as the government.
put that
The government wasn't
in-
poor,
in
was
air
it?
quotes.
Yeah,
put the government in air quotes.
in air quotes. Yeah, yeah. At any
King
rate,
John.
yeah. Like I said, not very wacky, but definitely wild.
Semantics. Yeah, semantics.
So
It's not semantics. It's just proving that taxation is extortion. I'm just saying.
Oh boy, here we
Got
go.
to give it back to the poor.
the libertarian shows up. All right, on with the show, sir.
So, you want to start with Florida Man or sports?
Let's start with sports and get back to Florida Man.
We'll end with Florida Man then, because I've got them on opposite ends of the spectrum. So
I
we'll
was
just go from
I
left.
was just
from right
down
to
in
left
Florida.
instead
I
of left to
hope this
Doesn't
this-
involve you.
Yeah,
right. I
shall
can
see.
neither confirm nor deny.
we shall see.
The subject of said Wild and Wacky News. J.R. Smith.
Oh, I thought you were going that way. Oh,
J.R. Smith, who we talked about on Monday, Mo, made his first career start on the golf course with North Carolina A&T in a tournament. Well, his golf adventure was unbelievable because he stepped on apparently stepped on a beehive around the 12th hole of the Elon Phoenix Invitational in Burlington, North Carolina, and had to call the medical tent or the medical cart over and everything. Like he had to let people play through. It was wild. I felt really bad for the guy. He's pulling up his pants, and he said they bit the out of him.
you know, Chris, some guys just can't behave.
Well, I mean,
Wow.
it's
Thank you. Thank
Wow.
that one was. I couldn't believe. I felt so bad for JR because first tournament out, it's like, all right, I'm having a good day. I'm shooting. I'm on the 12th hole. We're doing good. We're having a good time. Except you're not having a good time when you step on the beehive.
No, the good time is over at that point.
No good.
No more good time.
No, not at all. All right, so let's move up to Ohio, Cleveland area, where let me ask you this. Do you guys tip your mailman or Amazon people during Christmas or
No.
anything like that?
No.
you. No,
So I'll
should, but I don't.
No.
We leave out some snacks or whatever for Amazon people.
Milk and
because-
cookies.
Yeah, what kind of snacks?
Basically.
What kind of snacks?
Yeah,
Is it milk
yeah.
and cookies?
I mean, like a
milk-
water
milk will go
bottle
bad,
or
right? You can't leave milk out there.
no.
Well, at Christmas, I guess you could. It's not
Well,
like
that's
it's going to
true.
get hot.
That's true.
depends,
I will
yeah.
have to, yeah.
I mean, if you're,
I could see
you leave a
leaving
little
water.
box.
I could see leaving water bottles out for your Amazon folks
Sure.
and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I've never thought about it, but yeah. Okay, go ahead. Anyway.
Well, I can tell you, there's a lady near Cleveland who will not be tipping her mailman because he continuously urinated on her mailbox.
Oh, wow.
What?
And it wasn't yeah, she caught him. And she recently moved into a new apartment, and her landlord told her there was an ongoing issue with a mailman who wouldn't stop peeing on the mailbox.
The question: where is the mailbox?
Is this a mailman or a mail dog? What's up?
It's a mail. Well, yeah. It's not clear if he did this on the base of the mailbox or farther up the post, but apparently it's like I'm assuming it's an older apartment style where they have like 5 or 6 mailboxes on one post. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
In front of the building, instead of like one hub like they have now.
Yeah.
But she called the cops, and after finding him, catching him, yells at him, pours water out of a bottle to wash away the urine, and
The yellow snow.
yeah, called the cops. They tracked him down, and before they even asked him a question, he told him he just spilled his water bottle. So that seemed a little suspicious. He denied the whole thing. Called the allegation crazy, but the cops said the mailman still smelled like it and cited him for public indecency.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know where to
But
go
hey,
with that one.
If he were in Taiwan and he were to have been bitten by a centipede during such escapade, he could have walked away with a little money. Because
So you're saying there's a chance, huh?
a Taiwan man recently wore himself out cleaning, so he took a nap and he took his clothes off and laid down on the floor, which is a little odd,
Ooh.
but I guess if it's hot and you're cleaning,
Well, it is
you know,
Taiwan.
whatever. At some point, he woke up and was by a sharp pain in his groin. He looked down and saw a centipede.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. He crushed the centipede in his fist, but he needed medical attention. He went to the hospital and got patched up.
Ouch. Whoa.
His insurance company contacted him and said that he would be entitled to a payout due to the bite. It's unclear what he got, but they covered the loss of income while he recovered. So, I guess, you know.
Guess he had Aflac insurance.
They pay you if you get hurt and miss work, it don't hurt to miss work. And they pay you cash, which is just as good as money.
Just as good.
I'm just not sure it's worth it, but whatever.
To be bitten by a centipede?
Yeah. Or anything else.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
All right, let's move off of the criminals for a minute. 'Cause I got a quick question for you. You guys Pepsi or Coke guys?
Coke.
All right, well, what if I told you that you could get a Pepsi that is flavored like Cracker Jacks?
Coke.
No, thank you.
Nope.
What, you wouldn't take a crack at it?
No, you don't deserve that
Nice try, though.
one. Yeah. Yeah, I
So
know you're
Cracker Jack-
losing in the pun score today, but you know
Yeah, well, we pretty well ran it up on
yeah.
him during Terry's
he's
segment.
pretty desperate right now. He is pretty
He's
desperate.
trying to get back in it.
Take a crack at
Look,
it.
man, just take me out. Just take me out to the ball game, and so I can win some Cracker Jack flavored Pepsi. Because you can't buy it, you can only win it.
Win it.
They partnered up with the MLB playoffs, and they're giving away 2,000 cans on social media. So it's only cans of Cracker Jack flavored Pepsi.
You know why
you
it's
have to
on the cans? You can't reclose cans. They're not planning on you like closing it up and drinking more of it later on. This is a one-shot deal.
Yeah, this is like you might as well just shotgun this stuff to get the full effect, right?
Or not. Yeah.
And then you just pour a box of Cracker Jacks like in your face after you shotgun it for the Cracker Jacks. It's a whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to enter to win, you have to post a video of yourself singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" and make sure to include both of the hashtags hashtag Pepsi Sing to Score and hashtag Sweepstakes. It runs through October 18th, so you still have 5 days. So there you go.
I'm good.
Also,
Yeah,
you get the
that's
temporary tattoo, the tattoos that they put inside the box. You get one on the can, so at least you get that.
That you can use. It comes on the can. You can take it off.
Yeah, it's
Or
like
it's-
sealed. Yeah, it's probably like sealed in cellophane or something. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to pass on all that,
Yeah.
but
So-
thanks. Go ahead.
All right, I don't know why the place where I get all of my
Your
all of
wild and
my
wacky?
wild and wacky stories is really stuck on a certain bodily function this week because A police department in Canada released some 911 audio after a guy called because he was stuck in traffic, and guess what? He needed to pee.
Mm.
He was near Toronto, which, by the way, Toronto is basically like south of Detroit. So, this could be anybody in.
It is. Yeah.
It is what it is.
Mhm.
Anyway, he calls 911. He's sitting in traffic and he had to pee, and he asked for an ambulance first, and they were like, then he said he needed a cop because the cars in front of him weren't moving and he desperately needed to go.
Oh, Lord.
Have you ever found yourself in this situation? And if so, what did you do?
Well, I
I
certainly
won't
didn't.
tell you what Sarah did.
I certainly didn't call 911.
No, didn't call
No,
911.
you hold it.
You just hold it.
You be
Figure
a
it out.
man.
You don't have a bottle?
You be a man and all. Yeah, I mean that's the other thing. Yeah.
No, yeah, that's the worst case scenario right
Yeah.
there. But yeah, we won't ask what Sarah
No.
did.
No, please don't.
No,
I won't.
no.
I won't.
No.
Embarrassing.
Next.
And finally, not finally, we have two more. A woman freaked out because a grocery store's mood music was too sad. Freaked out completely.
Freaked out.
JP. Just
Okay.
absolutely acted like the world was ending. Employees at a grocery store near Detroit called cops last month that their 45-year-old woman freaked out because she didn't like the mood music. She complained that a song came on was making her sad and demanded they skip to another song. We don't know what the song was, unfortunately, but she was gone by the time police got there. And finally,
Is this Florida man?
Florida man.
Okay,
Florida man.
cool.
Cops in Titusville, Florida, so you're safe, JP.
Okay. Yeah, we're good.
They were out on patrol around 2 a.m. last Thursday, and they spotted a fairly large fire in the middle of the road. The flames are 4 feet high, and the fire was right in front of a guy's house, so they figured he had something to do with it, especially because, well, he was out there drinking on his porch. And apparently he's a big fan of Guillermo Heredia because he had a sword on the front porch for some
Hello.
reason. 37-year-old Scott Taylor kept drinking as they talked to him and started chugging from a half-gallon of Captain Morgan
Ooh,
because, well, he had a sword. So, of course, he's drinking
Yeah.
Captain Morgan, right?
there you go.
He eventually agreed to drop the sword and the knife that was in his waistband, but he couldn't
Oh,
explain
wow.
why he started the fire.
his
But he was
waistband.
too drunk to remember.
Was he propped up? Had his leg propped up like the captain?
like the captain.
Captain Morgan.
I certainly hope he was.
Yeah.
Anyway, they took him to jail because it was the 6th time he had been cited for illegal burns.
Oh,
So there you go.
illegal burns.
Yeah, burning stuff illegally.
Oh, I thought you meant on your body. It's like, how do you?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
He's just randomly
Really?
burning
Yeah.
stuff, like, in the middle of the road.
Uh-huh,
Like
yeah.
this. Oh, he actually intentionally broke a sprinkler and flooded his holding cell while he was in jail.
Wow.
So now he's burning stuff and trying to put it out
All at the same time.
all at the same time. Oh, man. Come back tomorrow. It's high school football all day long from post to wire. So, sorry. I got something stuck in my throat there.
From beginning to end, Alpha to Omega, however you want to go. Yeah.
That's right.
A to Z.
So we'll be back
Oh
tomorrow.
no, that
We
one's
appreciate you
taken.
guys.
Sorry.
For JP and Mo, I'm Chris. Yeah, have a great day and stay cool on me.